Hi guys, and welcome for our episode number 4 of True Life TV. Today I have the pleasure to be here with Flo, a friend of mine which is he's following his project of going in his expedition Alpine in Europe, probably in a couple of weeks, and he'd like to share with us some of his tips and some of his his passion about how to live a truthful and authentic life according to your highest values. So, welcome, Flo.
Hi, Frank.
Hi.
Thanks for having me here, and it's a real pleasure. I've been looking forward to that talk for a while, and it's really a great experience. I'm looking forward to go on an expedition for 3 months. Without any support, without any assistance by like infrastructure or anything else. So the whole thing is going to be solo and solar powered, basically totally green, totally. Us mountaineers call it alpine style. That means I'm carrying all my equipment in the backpack, and only the equipment I need to ascend a mountain. And alpine style is normally means you ascend a mountain and you don't descend on the same route. So you even if it takes you a number of days to reach the top, you take your camp with you every time you leave your camp. You take your camp with you. So you move your camp further up the mountain. So you don't really have a retreat. So once you go one step higher, the only way to retreat is with your whole equipment. And therefore alpine style is the boldest and purest form of mountaineering. It is very simple, very fast, and very efficient. The downside of alpine style is you're lacking a great deal of comfort. You're lacking the comfort of support, you're lacking the comfort of like a backup team, of a base camp, and this is what I am truly seeking. This is the true adventure in a highly developed, civilized world like the European Alps. The European Alps, don't get me wrong, the European Alps are probably the most touristically used alpine environments in the world. Chamonix, Mont Blanc, for example, has over 200,000 hotel nights a year. Mont Blanc, the highest mountain in the European Alps, which is one of the 4,000 meter peaks in the European Alps and the highest mountain of Western Europe, sees about 20,000 ascents every year. That is only Mont Blanc alone. So you can imagine that the French Alps are very heavily populated in the summer months and even in the winter months for skiing.
So what happened? What happened? What brought you to decide to embrace this challenge and just leave the city, leave the comfort of the city, and go at one with the nature and with the wild?
To be honest, my childhood, my upbringing, my past. I've been living a vagabond lifestyle for the last 15 years, and did a lot of different outdoor sports and extreme sports. Was a professional kayaker for a number of years and did whitewater rafting. Always climbed mountains, always skied, and always being close to the mountains. I sort of came to a conclusion where I thought, like, what I'm gonna do with the rest of my life. How do I want to spend the rest of my life? More, what do I really want to do? What really makes me happy? And I figured out that when I'm in the mountains, I am the most at ease with myself. And the pureness of the air, the exposure to the elements, to the forces, to the brute forces of nature that make you feel so small. You know, when you're up in the mountains and the storm is raging, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. You can sit it out, you can accept it, and you can feel it, and you do feel it. This is the beauty about it. This is the true adventure, that we need to adapt and act according to what nature allows us to do.
Right.
So therefore, I have in my mind created that challenge. I've got many challenges, of course, in the European Alps and in the Alps and the mountains around the world. But there is one where I thought, okay, I'm gonna take a little one-man build shelter, like an emergency tent, if you want to put it this way, and only the minimal necessary equipment to keep climbing. And I'll start climbing in Chamonix at the end of May this year, and I'll be climbing, hopefully if the wind allows me to, non-stop, without accommodation booked, without any support. I'll climb for 3 months, descending to the valley only if I need to buy food. And this is where I'm relying on you, Frank, because you're an expert in raw foods, I've heard, and I've lately sort of came back to using a lot of raw ingredients and a lot of organic foods, and so I hope to be getting some advice from you.
Yes.
What about, like, because I'll face one problem on the mountain. This is weight. Any climber needs to be light as possible, body-wise. I mean, I'm not a very light body, as you can see. There's the odd pound I could shave off, or I should better shave off before I go climbing.
So should we talk about it?
I talk about the weight in my backpack, you know, not the weight in around my waist. I'm talking about the weight in my backpack, which should be as little as possible.
Sure. That's what I think. That's a good question. That's a good thing that you're bringing in. And what I'd like to highlight first of all is that for every activity that humans have always been embarking throughout their history and throughout their their adventure on planet Earth, whether it was a mountain, whether it was in an unspeakable rainforest, whether it was in a polar region, whether it was in the desert, they've been always looking for high nutritious food. And when we talk about high nutritious food, we're talking about whole foods. Now the word whole food, as many people know, means that it's whole and intact with all these components and nutritious, hasn't been processed. And when we want to, what actually we're going to talk about today mostly is about raw food. So in this case, it hasn't been cooked. Now, for an expedition like yours, when you're probably being exposed to temperature of several degrees below zero, with extreme conditions, having a continuous source of energy that keeps your body warm, fat to burn, protein as well is the most important thing. So what you really want to avoid, well, it should be avoided anyway, everywhere and always, but what you want to avoid is food that makes you feel heavy, food that require lots of energy to digest, and that's what is processed food, that's what is animal products. Like if you're gonna eat a steak and then you gotta have a 500 meter ascent or 1000 meter ascent on crampons on high, all the energy and all the blood will be circulating in your stomach because it will be so much power that you are required to digest this, that you won't have actually so much energy to do that. And this is what is great, and I really admire you to do that in terms of also nutrition, that you start, I'm sure you start realizing day by day towards your adventure how your body is adjusting and how it's actually tuning in like an engine. Day after day, you're realizing that your body is actually growing and it's capable to go and produce massive amount of energy and massive amount of work without actually introducing a massive size of food. That's the most important thing. Because when we look about, for example, here, what we got here, this is nutritious food, this is raw bliss ball that you prepared. And this is amazing. You see, as you can see, guys, the size are really small. Of one single bowl of these is so full of enzyme, phytonutrients, protein, and all this goodness from nature that has been untouched because it's absolutely raw. That if we can really disconnect our appetite and our craving for food, which only came for our mind and for our pleasure in our mouth of the taste, these bowls, some people I know, they're able to go for 6, 7, up to 10 months with raw food like that, hyper nutrition and energetic, with only clean fresh water. And of course, clean fresh water won't lack in the mountains. You have water probably everywhere over there. And so really, for me, it's great what you do because I think you also, after the expedition, you've been tuned up more. And you realizing all the junk and all the crap that we're introducing as humans in this society that our body actually don't need. And when you're coming back there, I'm sure you start looking at some food that before you were really were needed to eat in a different way, because you'll be so connected at one with the nature, and you'll be achieving so much in probably these 3 months. And discovering yourself, to your origin, you realizing, man, I have already what I need. Food is just nourishing. Food is nothing more than connection between our earth and us. It doesn't have to be something that's covering emotions or something that's covering, boredom or something. Oh, I don't know what to do. Everyone else is eating. I eat the same, right? So that's the point today. I'm here with Flo because he's overtaking this expedition. We will take lots of stamina, lots of willingness, lots of belief, and I can see he has his dream. And when he talks about it, he's so passionate that every word is come from his heart and he's flowing. This energy can talk for hours. Like me, in the thing. So it was an honor today to have this, to have Flo guessing on my TV, because he's actually an example for everyone that has a dream. You see, he decided to live his passion. He decided one day to live a truthful life. Truthful life is the thing you were talking about yesterday. Living according to your highest values. What are your core values? And don't lie to yourself. As soon as you're able to really find out what your core values are, you're able to unleash so much richness, so much happiness in your life. You'll be so balanced that everything else will be flowing around you. And it's a pleasure for me to, as I said, to have it here. And we will wish you good luck.
Well, thanks. Thank you very much, Frank.
And I think you'll do really well with this food. And that can be an example, guys, for all of you that overeat and over binge on anything. This man is gonna go for 3 months unassisted with freezing cold temperature, in extreme condition, in extreme also physical condition, with only raw food, the food that nature provided us. And I know he's gonna succeed, because it's not only this food is not only nourishing his body and gives us strength and stamina, but it's creating clarity in his mind. So thank you very much. I'm sure you appreciated this episode, and please, if you like it, share it. A big thank you for Flo, and
thanks Frank. Thanks for being here. It's great to have that show. And I hope the whole world lives on these planet-shaped superfood treats. Bon appetit.
Great, bon appetit.